children constantly need to feel appreciated, need to feel loved, need to feel cared for. These are things that you consistently give. And every day they experience different emotions, they experience different challenges in their lives. And it's important for them to know that irrespective of what happens in my life, that person will always be there for me. So it's that constant.
How far does that go between spoiling the child and really supporting the child emotionally? Or where do you draw the line as a parent to not feel guilty that, oh, maybe I'm doing too much? Or can there ever be like too much?
You cannot love a child by spoiling them too much, but you can. It can be very destructive if there's no sense of boundaries or kind of discipline. Part of what makes a child feel safe is knowing that there are certain boundaries and that certain behavior is okay and certain behavior is not okay. If children have absolutely no boundaries and they feel that they can do anything they want, they actually feel unsafe, because children know that they need adults to, provide certain guidelines.
What you do now has kind of like ripple effect at a later stage. So It's important to be able to give a child a sense of safety and security now, because these are the things that they keep on tapping onto as they grow older and even once they become adults. And they start navigating relationships with other people, but also navigating relationships with their own children if they choose to have their own children.
It's important to remember that children feel all the same feelings that adults do. They experience a range of different emotions. The only difference is, especially in younger children, they don't have the ability to necessarily label that feeling, to know what it is, and therefore know how to articulate it and know what to do with it. So they've got this strange sensation happening inside of them. They don't know what it is, but it's got to come out in some way. And that's where we start to see acting out type behavior. So in many cases, it's not your child trying to be deliberately naughty or defiant. It's their way of trying to communicate that something doesn't feel right inside of me.
We have a question from Anonymous that says, please share more tips on how to give more emotional support to my children because they're indoors during this time and they feel as though we're not allowing them to go outside and play with other children. And how do you reassure them? So I'd like maybe Ruth, you can start with a couple of tips.
So an important tool, tip, skill, strategy is to help by identifying for children what they might be feeling. Saying things like, you seem really cross at the moment. I can see you really frightened. So you're teaching children that how to talk about and put words to their feelings. Over time, you'll notice that when children can describe and talk about what's happening, they will not feel as frustrated. They will not have to act it out so much because they realize they can talk about it. We don't need to solve all our problems for our children. Our children will face challenges and difficulties. And for us to lift them up and carry them over and let them avoid any kind of stumbling won't do them any favors, because we are never allowing them to find ways to deal with challenges and difficulties. So our role has to be to assist, but to also allow them to work things out. So we can be a support, but we mustn't always come to their rescue when they don't need us.